This is a review to see if there's any kind of hedge or futures product that hedges the US dollar against the Indian rupee. The Indian government provides a 9.25% CD interest rate for non-resident Indians. The only problem is you have to convert dollars to rupees and then back to dollars. And within a 1-year time, 5-year time frame, that conversion rate can adversely affect the effective 9.25% rate. So the goal here is to figure out if there's any futures product that you can purchase to hedge the risk of the currency fluctuating. The symbol INRUSD actually tracks the US dollar to Indian rupee, and yet you can see for this graph, March 2002 to March 2012, you can see $1 was equal to about 49 rupees in March 2002, and it went all the way down in January 2008 to $1 to 40 rupees or less. And back in March of 2012, $1 brought about 52 rupees. So if you look historically, 2002 to 2012, the average has been about 45.73, with the max of $1 bringing in 50 rupees, with the minimum $1 bringing in 39 rupees. So it fluctuates quite a bit, and every $1 affects the net effective rate of the CD. So in this example, you've bought 1 USD at 50 rupees, and when you sold it, the exchange rate stayed the same at 50 rupees. So your initial investment of 50,000 generated the 9.25% effective rate with the proceeds of 54,625. Again, 9.25% stayed in effect because you purchased it at 50 rupees at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, the exchange rate was still $1 to 50 rupees. So the question is, would you be willing to take a smaller cut instead of 9.25%, maybe a 5.05%, and maybe using some of those dollars to buy a futures contract that covers if the rupee falls below 50 or devalues 50? So in this hypothetical example, instead of 9.25%, I'm okay with 5.05%. Because what I did is when I purchased $50,000 at this 9.25% interest rate, I also took, in this example scenario, $2,000 and bought a futures contract that would probably maybe look like a January 50 to a December 54. In other words, if the rupee fell from 50 to 54, this futures contract hypothetically might pay out $4,000. So what that's done is from going from 50 to 54, your net proceeds would have been 50,578 or a 1.16% return. But because your futures contract kicked in because it went to 54, the $4,000 is added back, so you're now back to 54,625 or the 9.25% interest rate. But remember, you had bought the futures contract and there was a cost of $2,000. So even though the futures contract gives you $4,000, the cost was $2,000. So the net is $2,000. So what you've done is the rupee fell from 50 to 54, and your net return would have been 50,000 or 1.16%. But because of the net of the futures contract is an additional $2,000, it went from 50,000 to 52,000 or a 5.05% return. So what you've done is you bought the CD at 9.25%, but you also bought a futures contract that hedges that the rupee, if the rupee went down in valuation, in this case it did. And what you did is instead of going from 50 to 54 and ending up with a 1.16%, because of your hedge, you were able to get an effective rate of 5.05%. Not as high as the original 9.25%, but at least it wasn't the 1.16%, which would have taken place if you didn't have a futures contract and it went from 50 to 54. So again, back to the beginning, is there a futures product that can hedge against the rupee devaluing as the CD is purchased over a 1-year or 5-year period?